Welcome back to another edition. I am really honored that you've taken this time to spend a few minutes with me. And what I'd like to discuss today is something that may not affect you if you're under 50, but hopefully it's going to affect you someday. And if you're over 50, well, I am talking to you. And what I want to talk about is something that happens at 50. And at 50, you become eligible for membership in the American Association of Retired Persons, known as AARP. And this is open to anyone who is 50, regardless of your employment status, and it has a pretty massive membership in it. And you don't have to be retired, but this particular organization has benefits and services and advocates for people who are retired. And in my 40s, I just delighted in buying AARP memberships, which at that time I think were $12.50, for all of my friends who were turning 50. I would gleefully let them know that they were now officially over the hill, and was probably kind of annoying to them. So you can imagine their delight in doing the same for me when I turned 50. So I got, of course, what goes around comes around, and I got a little bit of my medicine back. But I do remember that disbelief in realizing that I was now at least qualified for membership in a senior citizens organization. And accordingly, I let my membership lapse after the first year that my friends had purchased for me. So here we are, 19 years later. There is no denying that I am a full-blown senior citizen. And I'm reminded about that daily with the unbelievable amount of time that I spend maintaining my health and increasing episodes of forgetting where I have placed my reading glasses. These are all things that I don't really relish, but they are right there before me. So there's challenges of getting old, and you know, I'm poking fun at it right now, but aging is a significant emotional event, or a significant event that carries tons of difficult emotions with it. At least it certainly has with me. I'm in several groups of folks my age, which are now boomers, and we talk a lot about dealing with the impact of aging and what that means and the emotions around it, and looking at the future and how should we be preparing for that future. Some of the depression that can come with aging. So it's a significant transition and one not to be taken lightly. Also, with the transition, there are some benefits. And one of the benefits that I want to talk about today are senior citizens discounts. Most of these kick in at around age 55. You're not going to find too many at age 50. So the retailers and the business community, maybe some good news for you, doesn't consider you worthy of discounts until you hit around 55. And then they can increase from there, becoming a little more frequent at 60 and being ubiquitous at age 65. The interesting thing is that when I first reached the age where I could get my first discount, I was kind of delighted. At least part of me was really delighted, like, oh wow, great, I qualify. And I think it was at a Cracker Barrel. I can't be positive, but I think it was at a Cracker Barrel. And when I asked for that, the restaurant didn't question giving me a discount. They didn't ask for proof. They didn't blink an eye. So everything went great, right? No, things didn't go so well. What I discovered was that there was a part of me that didn't feel I deserved a discount at the age of 55. And as I stood there at the counter, not even presenting anything, just saying, I qualify for your discount. Internally, my frugal part of myself and this part that didn't feel that I deserved a discount, that felt I was being an imposter, that I wasn't physically handicapped, that I wasn't financially struggling, that I hardly even looked 55. Those two had a pretty spirited discussion in my mind. And of course, the frugal part was saying, well, for heaven's sakes, take the discount. This is an offer that they're giving you. And you need to take it. They're offering it. And the other part of me just feeling shame because I didn't need it. I'd be selfish. I'd be greedy if I took it. And what I decided to do was pay the full price. Yeah, that's okay. I'll just pay the full price. You don't need to refigure it. It's not a big deal. Kind of an interesting introduction into the world of senior discounts. And I suspect that I am not alone in the unexpected emotions that can come up around this, and the factors at play, the emotional factors at play in the money scripts behind those emotions have to do with a lot of fear and denial. Fear and denial of what? They're offering you money. Where is that coming from? And I think what the fear is it is the fear of aging. I mean, it's a I don't, brutal is too hard of a word, but it's right there in your face that you now qualify for a senior citizen discount. You are getting old. Well, what does that mean? To some part, and to some of us, that could be rejoicing. That could really be a celebration. To many of us, it can mean loss of health is around the corner. A loss of independence is looming. A loss of relevancy. And now for me, that's a big one. Of no longer being relevant. What's that about? Of no longer mattering. Of no longer being seen or being heard. Now that's a lot for a gracious offer of a discount to trigger. But those are often the fears that are triggered around that. They certainly were for me. You know, how does society view getting older and the aged? Oftentimes there's a negative portrayal of aging. Many times we can think of the skilled nursing homes and assisted living centers that can bring about anything but light emotions and positive anticipation. So what does that mean for us? How do we deal with what this sets up? All of the money scripts around aging and the defense mechanism of denial. And for me, by not taking the discount, it just helped me not have to acknowledge the fact that I really qualified for this. And so it was a way of just denying. Let me put my head in the sand and just not deal with it, not accept them, and probably more importantly, don't ask for them. What will people think of me if I'm going up at the age of 55, 58, 59, even 60, even older, and saying, do you got a senior citizens discount? Especially if I don't, quote, need the money, if I'm not struggling. So it makes a lot of sense if a person will not ask for the discount because of guilt and shame. So what do you do? Well, one thing is to just dig a little bit deeper as to, you know, what's going on there. I mean, it really gives us a really good opportunity to dig deeper into the fear of aging. So there's solid reasons why these are being given. The businesses are not doing this because they have to. They are doing this for what I feel are pretty solid reasons to offer discounts to seniors. Remember, this is marketing. No one's forcing them. No one's forcing the business to offer this discount. They are not on a sliding scale. They are based solely on your age. Why are they doing this? Well, companies are doing this because it's ultimately good for them if you do business with them, because they have a senior citizens discount than their competitors. It's marketing that's aimed at a demographic that brings income to their business. Who spends a lot of money in this economy? Who has a lot of money in this economy? It is typically the senior citizens. And it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? They started out broke. They were frugal. They earned more than they spent. They saved their money. They put it into 401k programs and pension funds. And it grew and multiplied to the time that they are ready to retire. And many of those had pension funds, especially if they worked for any government agency. They have pension funds that come in, Social Security that comes in. They are in better shape financially than those in their 20s and 30s and even 40s. Of course, I'm speaking generally, but generally this is true. So these are dollars, if you're a retailer, these are dollars that you want as a retailer. Think of the discounts. I mean, this week I got what appeared to be a handwritten note from the CEO of Cozy Earth. And I'm not advertising for Cozy Earth, but I was really impressed because this looked handwritten. And I even told my wife to come over and take a look at this. Now, that particular discount, what was amazing about it was the fact that it was handwritten. And what I found out later with some research is that there's a couple of places you can go to where a robot will take a pen and write the card. So, I mean, it is handwritten by the hand of a robot, but it's not printed. It's very impressive, obviously. And I think the discount on this was like 40%. It wasn't because I was a senior or wasn't anything. It was because they were going to give me a discount. And if you think about the times you can get discounts, I mean, I regularly can get discounts of 5 to 15 to 30% if I wait for sales and I use coupons and things of this type. This is just another coupon that's given to people of a certain age. Another way that you can frame this too is that senior discounts aren't just about age. They're also about a lifetime of work. You know, I've talked about the money and the time, the devotion that a person has spent to their job, to saving, to frugality. They've come into a place where they hopefully do have some spendable income. And this is a nice reward for that because you are now among those that can spend and have more discretionary income than many others. So that's the reframe of what a senior citizen discount is. And so it can be a conundrum for you. It can be just an opportunity in that conundrum of looking at the emotions around aging. Why will I not accept that discount if that's the case for you? So try to dig into that. Try to dig into those parts of you that won't accept that or feel so much shame and guilt. And see if you can listen to their story. I mean, there's good intention. There's really good intention that those parts are doing, that they would refuse a discount. And find out a little bit more about that. And I'll almost guarantee you it's going to go back to a young child, oddly as that might seem, who may not feel that they deserve, that may feel guilty because they had money and others didn't. There can be an unlimited number of reasons why that money script may have really anchored itself in you when you were a very young person that is now coming out in feeling guilt and shame and refusing a senior citizen's discount. And there's a lot of things you can do. You can maybe you could make parts of yourself better if you took the discount and then left a bigger tip. You can use those savings to treat a friend. Or you could use the savings. I could see where a philanthropic part of you could get kind of excited if the savings from a senior discount were donated to a cause that you really cared about. So there's a lot of ways to reframe this. To take advantage of a gracious offer from a retailer. So next time you walk into a movie theater, you walk into a restaurant, you're at a national park, all of these places. I mean, you can get online and find a number of places that give senior citizen discounts. One of them is seniorliving.org, and they have a list of senior discounts in 2024. Leisure activities, cruises will often give senior discounts. Hotels will give senior discounts. In Europe, there's a lot of places that will give senior discounts for just a number of things, and sometimes some things that might surprise you. Another place you can look for senior discounts is the Senior List. And you know, there's retailers that will give discounts, like Kohl's on particular days of the week. Amazon can give some discounts of 50% off of Prime. Just a number of these. I'm kind of looking at some. Home Depot will give discounts. Just a number of them. I think Kohl's is one of the easiest. You know, Ross Dress for Less, and you'll get 10% off on 55 plus Tuesdays. Michael's, the same thing at 55. Even the Salvation Army gives discounts at 55. TJ Maxx gives discounts. Walgreens gives 20% off eligible items if you're 55 or older. So get onto those two sites, take a look at it, and then try it out. If you qualify and you've never done that, and use that as an opportunity to deal with what comes up, to deal with the difficult emotions that come up if they come up, and see if you can reframe your the way that you approach this, especially if you have these polarized parts, which you probably do, some saying yes, take it, and some saying absolutely not. See if you can work out a collaboration with them to where it's a win-win for everybody. Heck, if you could take me out to lunch and get the seniors citizens discount and to help it reduce the bill, or coffee. So I hope this has been thought-provoking for you. It can be lighthearted, but what underlies this is not so lighthearted. So see how you feel. Take an inventory of yourself. Even if you're not 50, how would you feel? How will you approach this when you hit that age that you can start receiving discounts? Will all the parts of you be celebrating, or is there going to be an internal civil war? So thanks again for listening. I look forward to speaking to you next week. And in the meantime, if you have a question, please email me at rick@rickkaler.com. Would love to give some consideration to questions that you have. I do a lot of my podcasts for what comes up for me in dealing with various clients, whether they be financial planning or financial therapy. Also, if you have any questions about financial planning or financial therapy, I do have a couple of websites, including at Advanced Wellbeing. I have a blog with a lot of these podcasts on it that you can read and access. I have a weekly article that comes out at financialawakenings.com that you're welcome to sign up for. That's a little more on the nuts and bolts side of financial planning, but I do try to tie in the emotional side of financial decisions with that as well. So take care and have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.